What's up everyone, today we're showcasing some awesome battles I had in what's probably my favorite way to play PvP right now, Sylph Factions, which is basically a 7v7 team-based competitive Pokemon GO League. This week, my team, the EU Emperors, up against the Snovertappers, one of our biggest rivals that have some of the best players from Scandinavia, and my opponent, barthegamer, who's one of the top players from Israel. We're facing off in the Sorcerous Cup, a Great League format with some restrictions. I'll put a link down in the description below to the PvPoke ranking and Sylph page if you want to know more about what the Sorcerous Cup is. Not going to talk about it too much in this video, just want to get into these battles as quickly as possible. Before we do that though, let's dive into these teams. I'm running Dragalge, Tentacruel, Dubwool, Frostlass, Azumarill, and Skuntank, and my opponent's running Dubwool, Munchlax, Alolan Raichu, Shadow Beedrill, Frostlass, and Shadow Skuntank. And on first sight, I'm extremely worried about that Shadow Beedrill. It can beat everything on my team. Even Frostlass, who resists the poison moves, loses the one shield there if you get baited with an X-Scissor. So if I want to win that matchup consistently, I gotta use two shields. But if I use two shields, his Frostlass or Alolan Raichu is gonna be big trouble in the back, because both of those are extremely good closers in this meta. For Alolan Raichu, I do have a hard counter in Dragalge, given that he doesn't run Psychic. If he runs Psychic, that's also a problem, but I would assume he doesn't. Wild Charge, Thunder Punch is generally the way to go, since it just nukes everything besides Dragalge so hard. For Frostlass though, I don't really have a super hard counter. That's the thing in this meta. Frostlass is basically gonna be on every team, since it's almost free to bring. There's no hard counters, and whoever saves shields for Frostlass at the end usually wins the game, and that's kind of the juggle you gotta make in this meta. It's really all about precise shield management and making sure the opposing Frostlass, or in my opponent's case, or actually in my case, I also gotta make sure the Beedrill and the Raichu don't gain shield advantage, because they can run through my team as well. For my first team, I'm really expecting him to bring Beedrill, so I'm bringing 3 Pokemon that do quite well there in Dubwool, Dragalge, and Frostlass. Dubwool is just an extremely good lead against Bar as well, since it can beat Beedrill, Raichu. Actually, it can basically beat everything on his team, given I bait appropriately. And he actually leads with a Raichu, and even though my fast moves are resisted, this is a very fine matchup. Even if I go straight Body Slam here, I actually reach the payback here, go for the Body Slam for the bait. I actually was very much considering going straight payback, but this is just much safer. Even though he no shielded, that's fine with me. I get to another one here. He is over farming a bit, which is fine with me, because that allows me to reach another Body Slam here before he's able to fire the move, take a shield. I'm still unsure what his moveset here is here, so I actually no shield. Kind of still expecting Thunder Punch, but he Wild Charges, which is still fine, since now I have a shield advantage, and Frostlass with shield advantage is very good. They bring in Munchlax. This can't be a Bulldoze, so I no shielded. He's like 2 licks away from Bulldoze at this point, so it's a safe no shield there. Gonna go for the Outrage here on the Munchlax. This should knock him out. Now the problem is Frostlass is probably gonna come out. Frostlass is gonna have an energy lead, and even though I have a shield advantage, their Frost is going to burn shield advantage of mine now. And the Raichu has a Wild Charge, so I'm looking pretty bad here. I'm going to shield this, and they're actually going to Avalanche Bait. Since they Avalanche Baited, I know for sure I'm not going to outpace him, even if I Avalanche Bait. So I actually go straight for the Shadow Ball here. But this is actually a mistake. This is actually a mistake, because if I go for 2 Avalanches, I will actually CMP on the Shadow Ball, on his Shadow Ball. And my Frostlass actually has a slight bit of attack. So, let's say I do win the CMP there. At this point, I'm not sure if I win the CMP. But let's say I do win the CMP at that point. Then I at least chip the Frostlass enough to where I might be able to take it out with Dragalge. Now I'm forced to use a shield, knowing this is Shadow Ball, and he can just come in Alolan Raichu to take me out. That's a problem. Now I have one more Wincon, and they're just farming down this Alolan Raichu, and I may be going for the Outrage versus the Frostlass, which I unfortunately barely don't reach. If you look at the health of the Frostlass right here, I think I would have won this game if I just went for the double Avalanche instead of the Shadow Ball earlier on. Even if I lost the CMP, I would have at the very least brought this Frostlass into a range where the Aqua Tail would have knocked out here. So that's quite unfortunate, but it's not over yet. All of these matches are best of 3, so I still have a chance to go positive here if I win the next 2. I'm still quite confident about my Dubwool lead, since it just beats so much. And I really want to bring my Dragalge for that Alolan Raichu, but this time instead of Frostlass in the back, I'm bringing Azumarill because I don't want that Frostlass to run wild again. And I pick up an amazing lead here with my double into the Munchlax. This is amazing. They bring in Frostlass, which I do have a response to in Azumarill. Azumarill does counter Frostlass, but this is really not as good of a matchup as you want it to be. If they go 2 shields down, you have to go 2 shields down as well. Look at how much damage that Shadow Ball does. The next one will definitely knock out, and Azumarill's just not as fast as Frostlass, and well, they can just shield here. The player of actually would not have knocked out yet, so I think they would have won the zeros if they no shielded, but they really won't switch right here, so they're gonna probably shield up whatever the cost. I'm gonna overfarm here, throw my player off right before the next Shadow Ball. At this point, I'm pretty sure the player off would knock out, so they actually do make a good shield there. They can probably go for Avalanche. No, I don't think the Avalanche would KO me quite yet, so this should be a Shadow Ball. I'm shielding up. I really want switch advantage here, as getting that double on their Munchlax is just huge, which they bring in right now. Actually overfarm a bit with Azumarill. Just gonna get some energy loaded for when that Frostlass comes back in, and maybe I'm gonna have to throw like an Ice Beam or a Play Rough on another Raichu too, since that is still what I'm expecting to be in the back. They throw Body Slam here. I know they're quite close to a second. Well, they're already at a second, and they're quite close to a third too. So I think I can only overfarm by like 1 or 2 more double kicks here. Which I will do right there. Only 1. I think I was counting pretty good. Threw it right before the 3rd Body Slam here. At least I hope I was counting pretty good. I now have almost a payback loaded, so I think I actually have a payback loaded. No, if the Frostlass comes in, it's just gonna... No, I actually don't have it loaded. I'm 1 double kick away. They bring an Raichu, able to get it off right here. It knocks out the Raichu. Bye-bye. Now know the Frostlass is gonna come in, so I bring in Azumarill instantly, so they can't farm down. This knocks out the Frostlass, and we win game 2 without even revealing the 3rd. GG. Game 3, I do something I don't usually do, and I bring the same lead for the 3rd time. This sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, after you've led the same Pokemon twice, some opponents are gonna hard counter that, and well, then you're kind of screwed. But some opponents also don't expect it, so they bring something weak to it in the lead. So I'm hoping for the second one, so I'm just sticking to my guns here, bring the same line. I'm confident that I can play out of any situation with it, really. And well, they lead a Frostlass, which is quite okay for double. Kind of requires some baits though, not in the zeros. In the zeros, of course, you just go straight payback, you win. But if they shield that, you actually lose the 2s, I'm pretty sure, because this Avalanche plus the Powder Stones will take you out before you reach 3 paybacks. They're actually gonna switch out into Skuntank though, probably hoping to take a payback on it, but luckily I was very patient with my moves and I didn't throw it into the Skuntank. Bring in the Dragalge here. I know it's probably gonna be a Alolan Raichu in the back, but I couldn't really stay in. This is actually kind of worrying me at this point, because the Alolan Raichu might be able to sweep both Azumarill and double at this point. But you know, if I just bring in Azu versus the Frostlass at this point and use the Azu to take out the Frostlass, I still have the double to take out the Alolan Raichu, which might be possible. Even though I have very little health, I do have a lot of energy to throw into it. To bring it in now, which is okay with me. Azu is very tanky, and Alolan Raichu is not, so these charge moves are going to do a ton of damage, so just throw an Ice Beam first, which they luckily shield up. I'm going to let them throw a move right here, shield it up just in case of Wild Charge. I was expecting a Thunder Punch, but I knew this was going to be a safe play, as I can still reach the Play Rough here. This might warrant another shield, and if it does, I'm just going to bring in double to payback it. They actually let it go just fine at this point. I let my Azumarill go. I know I can now farm down the Alolan Raichu and double payback the Frostlass, because I'm at 100 energy right now. Even if they shield this payback, I should be able to reach another one, and that should be game. Unless they reach 2 Avalanches. But actually, my opponent makes a pretty smart play here and lets it go. That's actually a very smart play by my opponent right there, since they really only had 1 win condition there, and that's me making a mistake and throwing the Body Slam. But I don't end up doing that. So I win game 3. And I win the match. GG to Bar. Unfortunately, my squad did end up losing to the Snover Tapper, so GG's to them. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please let me know down in the comments below. If you like it, I will definitely make one of these faction recaps every single week.